everyone. Well, believe it or not, we've just about got all the boxes out. I've got probably 2 more van loads full of boxes, and as you can see, some of them are pretty big that I'm carrying out of here. 2 more van loads about, and then we'll have someone come in, and we finally got back to the furniture. Someone get the furniture out for us. G get his tools, help take care of this. But for now, stay tuned for day 67, which was our hike from the Bland Trailhead at Highway 52 over to, I believe it's 611, where the Lickskillet Hollow is. Lickskillet Hostel is located. Everybody have a blessed day. Get out and hike.
Arnie and I lickety split our deer, and they're fixing to hike out here. It's going to be a snowy and wet day.
Yep. Can't wait. 700 feet up and 7/10 of a mile. If we can make it up that hill, then the rest will be okay. Everybody have a blessed day. Get out and hike. So there it is, Brushy Mountain Outpost. And we're going to follow this road for not quite a mile. Well, not this road, but a couple of different roads. Looks like Christmas trees covered in snow along this little road walk. I believe this is 612. Not sure, but anyway, first road you come to. And this will take us across Interstate 77. So we're coming across I-77. That would be to the south. And on my left, to the north. Well, it's nice starting off on a downhill. When you stay at trailheads, you don't really get to do that too much. But anyway, we're walking down actually to the trailhead. Looks like G drove down there. Is going to wave at us again when we go by. But it gives my muscles time to warm up a little bit. And there is another trash can that is provided by a local lady and gentleman, elderly. And we are going to take off that way. What'd you say?
It's a cross, even for someone with short legs.
Even short legs can cross this, she said. And I got my boots on. Yep. You want to lead on, my Wisconsin snow friend? Oh, you want me to lead?
Sure.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
My pole.
Shelter, 2 miles.
My pole here, my garbage stick.
State Road 611, 7 3/4 miles. Guess that's where we're headed. Now, for those of you that went through, all of North Carolina and Tennessee, and this is just another day in the woods, but for those of us, well, not lickety-split, she could probably climb anything, but for me, it's pretty steep. Bum kicker. 100 feet and 1/10 of a mile. True bum kicker. So, 700 feet. And 7/10, I think, or 606/10. Bum kicker. So this will be good practice. And so far it's not too slippery, so I think we're going to be fine. See you at the top. For those of you who may be new to YouTube videos of the AT through hikes, if you've learned anything by now, you have learned that it can snow on into April. We're about the end of the first week of April, and it got pretty cold, went down in the low 20s, and then we had snow, and then this has turned into rain, which would be cold rain if it was raining, just like what we had in Georgia. Fortunately, it's not. So, just keep that in mind. It's on into May, really. Sometimes I think they've had it. So, just make sure you keep something with you to deal with it. Don't think just because you're getting into April and May, no matter what part of the trail you're on, that you're never going to have cold. that would be pretty miserable if you don't have the stuff to keep you warm. So just keep that in mind. Well, as it turns out, we came up about 550 feet, and it was 9/10 of a mile, so it wasn't as steep as I remembered it, nor was it as hard as I remembered it, which it should be that way, because that hike was a couple of weeks after I came back from pneumonia, 60 hiking miles about under my belt in my life, and in addition to that, slow recoup from that month in the bed from pneumonia. So, and we were going G-speed, and it was definitely really hard on him, and still would be really hard on him. But anyway, I don't know what the time was on that 9/10, so I'm not going to worry about it. But I kind of did more what I'd been doing before. I discovered that on me that just doing that steady, short step climb without a rest tends to make my muscles hurt worse and get tireder than if I go a little ways a little faster, take a short break, go a little ways, take a short break, and over time the distance I go gets longer and the breaks get shorter, and the speed gets faster, and that seems to be what works best for me. So anyway, winter wonderland. This is really cool. We haven't been anywhere with snow that had this kind of tree. I think these are a type of pine tree, maybe. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. And just these little dabs of snow on them. It's really pretty. So the fleece has come off, and the neck gaiter has come off, and I put my wind jacket, rain jacket over my head after I put my backpack on and slipped my arms through the sleeves. So my back's a little bit cold right now with this anti-gravity, wind coming through this thing, but that's just because it got a little sweaty, and I think it'll be okay in a few minutes because we're going downhill now, so not working as hard, but put this camera down and walk a little faster, and that'll warm me up, and it's a great day for a hike. All right, there's a sign for Helvy's Mill Shelter, 3/10 of a mile down there. To the right, my understanding is the water is another 3/10 of a mile after that, so if you need a shelter, that's fine, but we don't, so we're not going down there. We've got just an 8-mile day today, 8.5, and then an 8.5-mile day tomorrow. And then our third day is going to be a pretty long day for me, with 1,000 foot up in it after, as Mongo calls it, Wapatai, I think, or Wapaiti or something, and a lot of people call it Wapiti, and anyway, Wapatai shelter, I'll have to ask him again what he calls it. He was pretty adamant about what he thought it was supposed to be called. And Mongo is the owner of the Lickskillet Hostel where we're staying tonight, so, and maybe tomorrow night, who we became pretty good friends with last year because we hung out there with him for a while and helped him out with a few things, and he helped us out by keeping us there. And anyway, he's still got some things to do to get that hostel where it's really conducive to staying in cold weather. In spring weather, it's perfect and just fine. But anyway, so for now we're just going to keep on walking. And Lickety Split decided to just take an afternoon stroll today with her grandma. So she's learned how to pace me and just kind of stroll along. I mean, you could play, some song that's a nice, easy strolling song, and that's what she's doing while I stay back here and move my feet almost as fast as they'll go. Not really, I'm not pushing that hard, but I'm actually taking it pretty easy too. But anyway, because I know the third day is going to be really hard, so, and I didn't feel well yesterday, so that's what we're doing today. Wish you were here. It's awful pretty out here, and it's a bit chilly, but it's good chilly. And I think the snow and rain have stopped. I think we're done, but still got overcast sky. Probably be this way most of the day. And there it is. Now we've gone from those kind of mostly those pine type trees to having a mix now of our mountain laurels mixed in. There you go. There's some young ones down here. Passed through a pretty good bunch of them back there before I got the camera out. But anyway, it's been mostly kind of level and downhill, and every now and then a little bit of up like this. Looks like we've got a little bit of up going on here. Not sure how long it goes on, but I know it's not as bad as the first one we did, so anyway, not a lot of variety, and being overcast, you know, but it's beautiful. Just a beautiful place to spend the day. Well, on a good day, off to the left would be a good view. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's really neat looking, and through the trees and everything. But it would be a nice distance view of the mountains if the clouds weren't there. And we're back in the little pine forest, I guess. I don't know what kind of trees the real big trees are. Tall trees that have no leaves on them. Here's the bark. Can some of y'all tell by that what kind of tree you got there? There it is, way up there. Bunch of them. They all look pretty much the same to me, like they might be the same kind of tree. But I don't know what they are. There's a larger one. Anybody know? Walking through here, you feel sort of like you're in a Robert Frost poem. I don't know. I think it's him that wrote the one. I only remember 2 lines of it. One line, really. I have miles to go and promises to keep before I sleep. Is that Robert Frost? Anyway, when I think of him, I think of the woods. And that's about all I know about him. So I could be totally wrong, but you feel like you're in somebody's poem. We got a walk in the woods trail going on here. So I think Lickety Split got bored with her sauntering and decided to move on out. So she's somewhere up there in the wild blue yonder, or the wild green yonder, I guess you would say. Little bird chirping. Always makes you a little nervous when you have to walk under stuff like this. But you do it. Been there, standing there for days and maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe years. And there's no wind up here, so seems pretty secure at this moment. Still makes me a little nervous. So I just realized that the hike I'm doing today is a hike that G did last season. And I remember, those of you that are new, he has very severe cardiovascular disease that has had as many surgeries as he can. They've done everything they can. So he pretty much has to just deal with what he has, and his body's developed a lot of collateral vessels. They recently were able to do a stent to help out the bottom part of his heart a little bit, get more blood, and his body develops just dozens and dozens, or I don't know how many collateral vessels. So there's all these little bitty capillary vessels that carry blood to the heart muscle. And that's basically what keeps him alive. So, but he's on a medication, and I guess they call it like a governor of his heart rate. So his heart rate can only go to 90. And as I've stated in many previous videos, you know, my heart rate, your heart rate, even the very fit athlete's heart rate goes up past 90 when they're climbing hills pretty quickly. So every time his hits 90, he has to stop, wait, catch his breath, let it lower down to 65 or 70, then go again. And that's his process. So he had started having sciatic pain. And he wasn't really hiking much. He decided to do this one, and but it was too far. He couldn't do 8 miles in one day with that big climb at the beginning and the other climbs that we saw in here. So I came from the north end to a campsite about 2 miles in, so we had to do 6 miles the first day. But there was no water at the campsite, so I played trail angel and carried 2 gallons of water up to where we were going to camp, hit it off in the woods, and then he camped 6 miles. And we had a nice night camping. Pretty sure he built a fire that night. Anyway, yep, that's what this hike is. So, see you when we get to where that campsite was and how far off in the woods I went to hide the water, because it was really hot. And if we got up there and someone else had found that water and thought it was trail magic, you know, I put labels on it. Please save, don't drink, whatever. But, you know, if you're a hiker, you get there, you're thirsty. I mean, yeah, so I hit it really good. It's a nice wide ledge we're walking on for a minute here. Maybe this was an old logging road. Yeah, we reached another one of these messy vine-like areas. Fascinating. Deja vu, Georgia? Deja vu, North Carolina? Deja vu, February? Deja vu, early March? I mean, what is this, right? This is second week of April. And it's freezing. And it's wet. And feels not as cold, thank goodness, but almost like it did when we went over Bly Gap. So, but we're having a great time. We're headed to Lick Skillet right up here pretty soon, and just not a lot to show you today. I mean, this is it, but my knees were starting to hurt a little more than normal. So I stopped and put my fleece back on and pulled my knee sleeves up over my knees to make sure they're fitted, you know, in the right place. And just a little rest and that has made them stop hurting. So hopefully that's all it was. So we'll see. Let's keep going. Onward and upward. Hi, I see the white blaze on the tree right there. And this spot, I went down over here, put a couple gallons of water there, came up from this north end, and then on top of this hill is where we camped. And it was a 6-mile hike for G. He started at the Kimberling Creek, where he crossed the creek and went up that big hill and made it to here that day. It was a long, hard hike for him, and it was hot. Go over here to the left, where we put our tent. And that was actually the night we were attacked by the millipedes. And then up here is where we cooked. So I carried from up ahead here a couple miles. I carried 2 gallons of water, which would be 17 and a half pounds, I guess, about. And then I had water for me to drink and a few extra things to, you know, I always carry things so that if I get hurt and I'm stuck overnight, I did need stuff to stay safe if I was forced to stay overnight. So, and then the funny thing was, so I carried all that weight up and then got rid of, 18 pounds. And on the way down, of course, my pack was 18 pounds lighter. And so when G got here and we camped and then we left him the next morning, and all I remembered was this went downhill. It was really easy. And when we were hiking it that day, of course I had a full pack, and it turns out this is not all just downhill. I just didn't remember any of the uphills because it had been so hard carrying all that water, I guess, that, when I went back the other way, it just seemed easy. So we'll see when we go this time what we've got. Well, I got about 1.6 miles to the trailhead where the trail angel extraordinaire should be. And there's definitely, it's like downs and ups, downs and ups. It is amazing to me that the first time I went northbound on this trail, which was after I carried 2 gallons of water up to that campsite to hide it for us, played trail angel that day, then on that hike back, which I guess I must have only had about 10 pounds on me, that I did not remember these uphills. Some of them, this one anyway, I mean, it's only a few hundred feet, but it's feeling fairly significant. And can't believe I didn't remember that. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be there shortly. Well, in an hour. It's a beautiful day. Put my fleece back on and, excuse me. Sometimes hiking just makes me sleepy. And about 1.5 miles back from 611 is another campsite. But no water up here. So, there is that. The entire trail today. We're walking the woods trail, for the most part. Or very close to it. And that's really been a blessing. It's been a great day. It's been this pretty much all day. When you're actually when you're walking in it, it's not boring. But to just sit and watch it on YouTube would be really boring because you're not experiencing the sounds and the temperatures and just, feeling the ground under your feet. All of those things that the person hiking is experiencing. So see where it would get boring. But you can see what the trail looks like. So you think there's bears in these woods somewhere? Modern art sculpture. Today we walked in a cloud. It was actually pretty cool.